Link down below as always if you want to read this on your own. So far, this appears to only be for current gen, so like PS4, Xbox One. Gameplay. Reduced the frequency of stumbles after dunks, as requested by the community. Made some improvements to double team and switch logic on defense. Adjusted the logic for several shooting badges including Chef, Limitless Spot Up, Difficult Shots, Circus 3's Rhythm Shooter, Catch and Shoot, Set Shooter, and Stop and Pop, so that each one triggers under the intended conditions and at the proper shooting ranges. Players can now dunk more frequently in certain situations even when not using the skill dunk mechanic. Locked the Y position of the shot meter while in the act of shooting to make it easier to read. Fake passes will no longer turn into unwanted bounce passes if triggered during a pump fake. Fixed an issue where you could transition from a post-hop shot away from the rim and into a running self-alley-oop towards the rim. Adjusted collision detection on certain take charge animations to prevent unwanted collisions, as well as fixed an issue where shimmy hooks could be played from the three-point line. Resolved a rare issue where the AI could get caught in an unintentional size-up move. Addressed a community-reported issue where the AI could get stuck attempting several fake passes in a row. Technical free throws will no longer be incorrectly awarded on defensive off-ball fouls in the last 2 minutes of the game. Game plan will now be properly turned off when the user turns ace off in the menu. City Pro-Am Rec. Many continued improvements to performance and stability have been made to enhance the overall user experience. Addressed issues with invites and voice chat as reported by the community. You can now properly access the courts in the Gatorade training facility while in a squad. Your MyPlayer will now wear the proper shoes when playing in Pro-Am games. Resolved some issues with Pro-Am recruit stats not always displaying correctly. You can now wear purchased items out of pop-up stores in the city. MyCareer/quests. Multiple fixes and adjustments have been made to improve the overall quest experience. Fixed a rare issue preventing certain users from becoming the starter at the expected time in Toe the Line quest. The Edit Playbooks menu will now properly be available when the associated quest is completed. Resolve some issues that were preventing certain stat-related and season-long quests from correctly tracking and completing, as well as address some issues with endorsement contracts and the associated rewards. Fixed an issue with the Suggest Free Agents menu not working correctly after unlocking it via the associated quest. The Bell of the Ball achievement will now correctly unlock when completed. Resolve some issues with the reward collection from the buildings purchased in the music and fashion arcs. MyTeam. Various improvements and support for unlimited and triple threat online. The 100. Added support for recurring and event exchanges. Various additional improvements to the exchange to improve the overall user experience. Made several improvements to the ball drops. Added event cards, support for auction house searches from my collection. Signed player cards will no longer have distorted backgrounds in-game. Certain player stats like overall record will now display correctly in menus. Boosts applied to shoe cards will now correctly be applied in games. Added support for searching for shoe colorway cards by brand in the auction house. Timers in the pack market will now display the proper amount of days remaining. Restarting during skill challenges should now work as intended. Fixed setting lineups and triple threat play with friends. Addressed an issue that prevented players from viewing the opponent's starting lineup before online games. Prevented a situation where players could accidentally select multiple packs at once in MyTeam draft. MyNBA, the W. Whatever that is. For some reason, I don't know what that is. Various stability fixes and improvements have been made to MyNBA, MyNBA Online, and the W. Training and conditional coaching are now properly supported in MyNBA Online. The various financial-related menus and traditional trade options are now accessible in MyNBA Online. Ticker scroll speeds have been reduced as requested by the community. Generated players no longer default to having slow shot timing. You can now edit tendencies for players in draft classes. Fixed a hang that could occur if the off-season when toggling between user-controlled teams. Resolved an issue with certain downloaded draft classes that could cause problems when simulating ahead in the season. Resolved an issue with the broadcast camera when used in certain WNBA arenas. And finally, addressed an issue with the W. that could prevent users from passing the ball during an inbound despite having full team control on. And that is your patch notes, which is quite extensive. It's rare that in recent memory, from what I remember, that you'll have such in-depth patch notes for something. Hopefully this really fixes your game for you folks out there on current gen. I'm on next gen. I just do my NBA and I don't do the online stuff, so it seems to be working out pretty good for me. Anyhow, you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. You didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. And as always, I'll just snap it off inside your ass. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, I mean, naturally that would be great, but if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and perhaps I shall see maybe some of you in the next video. Bye for now.